So, Saved by the Bell reboot, episode 2 called Clubs and Cliques. So, this one has Lexi and Devante um, kind of going at it somewhat slightly. Devante gets the lead in the play, so does Lexi. The whole time she's trying to kind of shove herself in his face, try to be friends and, whatnot, adding him to uh, chat groups and um, you know messages and whatnot, and he just keeps taking himself out, because he doesn't really care about any of that stuff. I liked that. That was probably the better part of the episode for me, um, just because of the whole overbearing kind of fake friend thing, superficialness of it, and his nah, not really into that, do my own thing type mentality, which I really can appreciate. The other storyline that was going on in this was Jamie. Uh, he was, I guess, the quarterback of the football team, and now the quarterback is, I think her name's Aisha, um, which of course will start their whole relationship going on forward. But he kind of gets booted from that position, where he's kind of the quarterback of the failing Bayside team that we now have, and and he doesn't take it well. That I kind of found that storyline wasn't as good, and if I hadn't have already seen the series all the way through, I probably would be a little bit more irritated than I was watching this, going, "What is this?" Because the storyline, this one kind of sucked. I do like where their characters eventually go, but this one was kind of like, God. I mean, how can nobody tell this guy that he's not any good? But then again, that's kind of classic Saved by the Bell mentality of the situations that they kind of get themselves into. So, I can't really fault them for telling that story. It's kind of appropriate, you know, um, especially considering the football team's not like it was in its heyday when Slater was on the team. And then the final story that was in this one is, um, shoot, I forget the main character's name. Again, I'm terrible with names, but she's a Max Bayside buddy from the first episode. And he acts like they're best friends. I really and he even says it. He's like, man, if I wasn't best friends with you, I'd be really mad right now. And my question on that is like, what what's your what's your definition of best friend, man? Like, what constitutes that role in your life? But I enjoyed that. All three of these storylines had in common was the fact that one was very superficial and the other one was more realistic, in terms of what was going on. And you can see by the end of the episode, they start to kind of turn the kids to be normal kids, or more more normal, instead of being so superficial, um, which I think is a story that a lot of us can relate to. Um, so yeah, I thought that was, um, I thought those were pretty decent storylines. I think for episode 2, I think it was a pretty solid episode 2. I'm really enjoying the character of Mac. He, again, when I first started watching the series, I was not a fan of him, but I enjoy his characterization. I do see him as a successor of Zach Morris, but he's not a carbon copy of it, and that's what I enjoy. I didn't like Jamie the first time I watched the series, and then when I watched it again the second time, I did find the charm of the character. Um, Again, there's some things where I'm like, please tell me you're not that naive. But again, that's just the character. It's kind of like, how some people could look at Screech from the original and go, how could you be that dumb? So once you get past those expectations, the characters are really charming. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid second episode. Um, it was just really good. There was some banter between Slater and Jesse, especially the ants on the logs segment, which I always love Mario Lopez. He's really funny. and you can tell that he's grown in the acting, you know, area. Just in the subtlety of what he does, um, I enjoy every time he's on screen. Just because again, Jessie not so much. I never really cared for Jessie, and she's kind of the same way in this series. I don't really enjoy her when she's on screen. I mean, it's just like, you're there, but okay, whatever. But for Slater, every time he's on screen, it's a real treat. Not only in the fact that it ties it back to the original, but just in the fact that he's a good character. And the actor portrays it well. So it's really good. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. That in mind, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.